The luxury restaurant glowed with chandeliers, the air thick with wealth and pride. At a corner table, Maya, a 25-year-old black waitress with warm brown skin, natural curls tied neatly back, and a navy blue uniform, carried a tray with careful grace. She needed this job badly. Her mother's hospital bills were waiting, and every shift mattered. But when she set the glasses down, the CEO of a billion-dollar tech company, Richard Hale, tall, in his mid-50s, with silver hair and an expensive tailored suit, leaned back in disgust. "Are you blind? You nearly spilled that water on me," he snapped, loud enough for half the room to hear. Maya froze. Her hands shook, her throat tight, but she whispered, "I am sorry, sir. It will not happen again." Richard sneered, his voice sharp as a blade. "Of course it will. People like you are too stupid to serve properly." Gasps spread across the room. The wealthy clients exchanged shocked looks, but Richard smirked, thinking he had proved his power. Maya's chest ached with humiliation, but she stood tall. Her quiet dignity only made Richard more cruel. "You should be grateful I even let someone like you serve at my table," he added, lifting his wine glass carelessly. What Maya did not know was that two of the most powerful foreign investors in the world were seated just a few feet away. And they had seen everything. Their eyes locked, and one whispered to the other, "If he treats people like this, how does he treat his employees?" The table went silent, tension filling the air. Maya fought back tears, but Richard only smirked deeper. And then, one of the investors slowly stood up from his chair. Richard Hale, still towering with arrogance, raised a glass to the crowd. "Let's make this interesting. I bet $500 she will trip before finishing her round. 1,000 if she runs out in the middle of serving." Laughter erupted, some fake, some cruel. Maya's eyes scanned the room, noticing something that Richard did not. His son, Nathan, a 28-year-old man with warm brown eyes and sharp features, was watching silently from the corner, discomfort etched across his face. He shifted uneasily, clearly aware this was wrong, but powerless to stop his father. A gentle voice came from behind. "Miss," it said softly. Maya turned to see a man in his 60s, dark-skinned, dressed in a crisp security uniform. Marcus, head of security, leaned in just enough so only she could hear. "I saw you before," he whispered. 15 years ago at the National Theater. You were the principal dancer, Kesha Morrow." Maya's heart skipped a beat. All those years, all the jobs she had taken to stay anonymous, and now someone recognized her. Marcus's eyes were wide with admiration and disbelief. "The newspaper said you'd never dance again, but here you are." Maya's lips curled in a small, determined smile. "Not everything printed is true." Richard's cruel laughter cut through her moment of recognition. "Bring her to the center. Let's see if she can even survive one song. Whoever bets against her will profit greatly. If she fails, she cleans this entire hall on her knees." Nathan's face paled. He whispered, "Dad, this has gone too far." Silence. Richard barked. "You will learn how the world works. People like her must know their place." Maya took a slow breath, feeling the memories of years of training, accidents, and relentless physical therapy surge back. Every muscle remembered, every rhythm burned into her memory. She had survived tragedy. She had danced when doctors said she never could. The DJ hesitated, then started a waltz. Victoria Hale, Richard's wife, began performing practiced but stiff movements. Polite applause trickled from the audience. Maya's turn was next. She stepped forward, her head high, her eyes calm and sharp, as if the room itself had no power over her. Even the investors leaned forward, sensing the storm about to unfold. The room fell silent as Maya took her first step. Every whisper, every laugh seemed to dissolve into the polished marble floor. She stood at the center, shoulders back, head high, eyes fixed on the chandeliers above her. For a fleeting moment, the grand hall felt like a theater again. Richard smirked, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Well then, little maid, the stage is yours. Impress us, if you can." But Maya did not look at him. She closed her eyes, listening not to the jeers, but to the faint music beginning to play. The rhythm pulsed through her veins like it always had. Her body remembered what her soul had never forgotten. Then she moved. Her first spin was effortless, her second a perfect arc of grace. Guests gasped. This was not the awkward shuffle they expected from a cleaner in a uniform. This was precision. This was artistry. Victoria Hale froze mid-step, her rehearsed performance crumbling beside Maya's brilliance. Her smile faltered as Maya leaped into the air, landing with a grace that drew spontaneous applause from the investors. For the first time that evening, the power in the room shifted. Impossible, Victoria whispered, clutching her pearls. Marcus, the security chief, stood straighter, pride swelling in his chest. He muttered under his breath, "The Phoenix has returned." But Richard's jaw tightened. His face reddened as the investors leaned forward, captivated. One of them whispered, "That's no maid. That's an artist. Where did she come from?" Another replied, "I would pay to see her perform again. This is extraordinary." Maya's movements grew bolder, her soul pouring into each step. Every twirl was defiance, every leap a refusal to be humiliated. She was not dancing for Richard's cruel amusement anymore, she was reclaiming her dignity in front of the world. Then it happened. Her final movement ended with a flawless spin that left her kneeling gracefully on the floor. For a breathless moment, the entire room was silent. And then, applause thundered through the hall. Nathan rose to his feet, clapping louder than anyone else, his eyes locked on Maya in awe. The investors followed, a standing ovation breaking the tension. But Richard Hale did not clap. He slammed his glass on the table, his face twisted with rage. "Enough," he roared. "This is a trick. Do not be fooled by her act. She is nothing but a servant in my house." The applause wavered, the crowd uncertain. I shifted back to Maya. Would she bow her head in shame, or stand taller than ever before? Maya stood slowly, her breath steady, her eyes glistening but unbroken. The room waited, caught between Richard's fury and the brilliance they had just witnessed. She did not flinch, nor did she bow. Instead, she spoke, her voice clear, resonant, filled with quiet power. "You see, a maid," she said softly, "but I was a dancer long before I ever picked up a broom. Life took away my stage, but it never took away my spirit." The hall went silent. The investors leaned in, struck by the honesty in her words. Richard sneered, desperate to regain control. "Do not be fooled. She is nothing but a nobody. She belongs in the servants' quarters, not in front of you." But before Maya could answer, a deep voice interrupted. Nathan stepped forward, his eyes burning with pride. "You are wrong, Richard. What you tried to shame has only proven your own ignorance. That woman," he pointed to Maya, "just captivated every heart in this room. And you? You revealed yourself as cruel and blind." Gasps rippled through the crowd. One of the oldest investors, a silver-haired gentleman, rose to his feet. "I recognize her," he declared. "She performed at the Grand Theater years ago. My late wife adored her talent. I thought she was lost to the world. And yet here she stands." His voice trembled with emotion. "I see greatness, not servitude." The applause rose again, stronger, fiercer, drowning out Richard's protests. Maya's hands trembled, but this time it was from joy, not fear. For the first time in years, she was seen, not as a servant, not as an outsider, but as the artist she had always been. Richard's face twisted with rage. "This is my event. You will not steal my spotlight." He stormed toward Maya, but Marcus, the security chief, blocked him with a firm hand. "Enough, Richard. The people have spoken. Tonight is hers, not yours." The investors turned away from Richard, their attention locked on Maya. Some whispered of offering her a new stage, a chance to revive her career. Nathan extended his hand to her, his voice steady. "You do not have to sweep floors anymore, Maya. You were born to shine." Maya looked at him, then at the crowd still standing in ovation. Tears blurred her vision, but her smile was radiant. "I was never invisible," she whispered. "I was only waiting to be seen again." And in that moment, the humiliation Richard had planned became his downfall, while Maya rose, not just as a dancer, but as a symbol of resilience, grace, and unbroken spirit. The hall thundered with applause once more. The maid had become unforgettable.